Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. We are making two different types of healthier appetizers tonight, a black bean hummus and also stuffed mushrooms. So I'm gonna give everyone a minute or so to come on and then we'll get cooking. Hello everyone, welcome. Happy Tuesday. It's a cold Tuesday. It's like last week it was 70 degrees and now it is freezing. So I'm just giving everyone another couple of seconds to come on. We're making healthier appetizers tonight, but they don't even have to be an appetizer. It could be for dinner or anytime a snack. So I'm going to tell you how to use these different appetizers for dinner or other types of meals as well, so you don't have to just make them for an appetizer. So hello, welcome. My name is Jessica. For those of you who don't know me yet, last week we did another Facebook Live and I've been doing them for probably since COVID. So if you've missed any of them, last week we made no added sugar chocolate brownies, which are plant-based. So if you missed that, definitely go back and check that video. All of the recipes are also posted in the comments, so you could go back and check the recipe as well. I see a lot of people coming on. Welcome. So if you have any questions during the Facebook Live, feel free to comment below. I try to answer the questions right away. If I forget anything, I always go back after the video and answer them as well. And all of the recipes will be posted, so you don't have to write down measurements or anything like this. So we will get started. We have quite a few people on. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jessica Malazzo. I'm an integrative nutrition health coach. I love cooking healthy, easy, delicious meals. And we're gonna make a black bean hummus today and stuffed mushrooms. So yes, I'm gonna give you the recipes, so they'll be posted in the comments right after this. So definitely check that out. Both of these recipes are really simple. And the best thing about cooking is you could kind of make it your own. So you could add in different add-ins and I'll kind of go over that. We're gonna start with the stuffed mushrooms. I love stuffed mushrooms. It's a great appetizer because you could prep it really the night before, even 2 days before, and then bake them the day of. So we have Thanksgiving coming up, obviously with COVID, depending on what your Thanksgiving or holidays are gonna look like. These are still great to make for the family. It's also a great dinner, so you could pair this with rice or quinoa and another vegetable, or of course with a protein. So the two recipes that I'm gonna give you tonight, they're gluten-free, they're plant-based, meaning that they're vegan as well. That does not mean that it lacks flavor, so just remember that. So let's get started. I use baby Bella mushrooms. So I have them on a baking sheet here. I'm gonna show you how to clean them really quick. Mushrooms, you don't wanna put in water because they're gonna absorb all that water. So you wanna just really take a paper towel. And these I found at Costco. So use whatever you find. You could use white mushrooms as well, like a white button mushrooms, but these are just the baby Bellas. I also like to look for the mushrooms that are larger in the package because that means less cleaning and less preparing. So here's my mushroom. I just detached the stem. Now for the stems, I save some of them. I like to actually put it in the filling for the mushroom. It gives it good flavor and also just gives it a nice consistency to the filling as well. So I'm just gonna clean so you could see. I'm gonna move this so you guys can see. And instead of breadcrumbs, we're gonna be using almond flour. We have olive oil, nutritional yeast. I'm doing some sun-dried tomatoes tonight. Of course, garlic, and these are herb stuffed mushrooms, so we're adding a lot of parsley in. I also have some basil, and if you have mint is also a great herb to add in as well, which many of you might not think of that. So you need a sweet potato recipe. Let me think about that. I just love baking sweet potatoes, like cutting them up, baking them. You could do like stuffed sweet potatoes. That's a great idea. Let me think of that more. I love to put sweet potatoes in soups, so use my crock pot, especially during, you know, this time now where it's cold out. So I'm just chopping up some garlic, and we're gonna throw everything in the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, it's fine. You could always get a bowl. You just wanna make sure that you chop your garlic really well. You know, this stems all of your ingredients. So a food processor just makes it really a lot easier, but you could always improvise. Also, if you have a blender, you could use a blender as well. So this is just a regular food processor. We're gonna start to add all of our stuffing in here. So I have 2 cloves of garlic. If you don't like garlic, omit it. And then I'm just adding in some of the mushroom stems. So again, I feel like this is kind of a fail-proof recipe, and you know, add in what you like. This would even be good if you wanted to add in some walnuts, maybe if you roasted some walnuts or almonds. I'm using almond flour, so again, we're not using a typical breadcrumb here. We're using almond flour. So we're doing 1/3 cup. And then we have some sun-dried tomatoes. I just had some sun-dried tomatoes that actually were oil-free, so I just added a little olive oil to help marinate them. So we're doing about 5 or 6. I love sun-dried tomatoes. I feel like it gives it a lot of flavor. All right, now we're adding in, yeah, you could put in celery. I mean, you know, I think the best thing about cooking is you could really use what you love and get creative. I mean, try it. Celery would be great. I'm adding in a lot of, I have some basil and parsley. So I actually have a parsley plant out in the front, and parsley thrives in colder weather. So it is huge. I have to make some pesto with it too, but I got all of this parsley from my plant. You could even, I like to actually buy plants in the store. So herb plants, for example, I have one here. So this is a basil, which basil is difficult to keep in the winter, especially my house is typically colder. But I got this plant probably for like $3. So it's just great to have in the house every time you need some basil. Or again, you go buy a parsley plant or mint, you have it there and you're not wasting it. So you're using whatever you whatever you need, and then you will still have your plant to use at a later date. So we're gonna just chop this up a little bit. Oh, and I'm also gonna use nutritional yeast. So again, this is gluten-free, it's plant-based, vegan, so there's no real cheese in it. Typically a stuffed mushroom might have pork in it, sausage, but I'm using a nutritional yeast. So you can see here, you can pretty much find it anywhere. It has a similar taste to cheese. I really enjoy it. I love when I make popcorn and I put it on my popcorn. So it's just a good alternative to cheese. Of course, if you wanted cheese and you were eating cheese, maybe a pecorino romano would be really good. You know, which would be a harder cheese, or you could just grate some on top, which would be really good as well. So I'm just gonna blend this all up. So you could actually add in some onion, or even I have a shallot over here. Let's see. Actually, I forgot I had a shallot, so we could just add this in. I think when you're making stuffed mushrooms, you just want to focus on flavor. What's going to make it very flavorful. You kind of get a mouthful of flavor when you bite into it. So I'm just going to add in this shallot. So onion's great with that. Garlic, you can even saute your onion and garlic prior to adding it to your blender. But I think raw tastes just as good. It's quite delicious. And then the herbs give it such a nice earthy flavor, but packs a lot of flavor as well. So I definitely urge you to add in the herbs. Just gonna put this over there. I was like thinking where my compost bin is. All right, so I added the shallot. We're gonna mix this up again, and then we're going to stream in a 1/3 cup of olive oil. I use just an organic olive oil, so you could use your organic or olive oil of your choice. Gonna have to scrape down your sides. You want to make sure that it's all well incorporated. I'm gonna add in a little salt. I love pink Himalayan salt, but use sea salt if you like, kosher salt. But I like to stick with those natural salts. I always suggest read your ingredient labels of your salt because sometimes there are added colors or iodine to it. Pink Himalayan salt actually has less sodium than regular salt. So we're just adding about a teaspoon. If you're watching your salt, just omit it. And then we're just adding in some fresh ground pepper. And these, when they come out of the oven, they really look beautiful because they're so green from the herbs, and there's little pieces of red from the sun-dried tomatoes. But I've made these without the sun-dried tomatoes, and they're delicious as well. I'm just seeing if there's, I was just seeing if there's any other questions, because sometimes I do miss questions. So I'm gonna mix this one more time, and then we're gonna get started. You can even serve these as a side dish as well. So I know I said appetizer, but side dish, dinner, really eat it whenever you want. Oh, so I am making stuffed mushrooms right now. And then we're also gonna make a black bean hummus. All the recipes are going to be posted after this, so don't worry if you missed anything. You could always rewatch the video as well if you wanted to see me again. But you could see this is the stuffing, so it's very green and it's quite thick, right? So we're gonna stuff all of our mushrooms. I'm gonna just show you a few so you get the idea here. Again, we cleaned our mushrooms with just a paper towel. So we just dusted off the dirt, took off the stems. Again, I like bigger mushrooms just because it's less for me to stuff, but get whatever you would like. And these are gonna go in the oven at 375 for about 20 minutes. And then they're gonna be so tender, full of flavor. And I mean, it doesn't get easier than that. Like I said, you could make these in advance and then just pop them in the oven. I mean, you could even bake them and then pop them in the oven to reheat, or you could just cook them the day of. But I mean, they just look so pretty because the stuffing is beautifully green. And I think a lot of times we forget about herbs and how much flavor it adds to our dishes. So like I said, if you could get a little plant, I got my plants actually at Lidl, right in Center Mauritius. So if most of you are local, you could go get a plant there, and they're really inexpensive. My parsley outside is doing amazing right now. So we're just gonna stuff all of these. You know, you could even make the stuffing the night before, put it in a, you know, container with a lid. Oh, we got a stem in there. Just gonna look at the questions. Okay, no more questions yet. But I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for joining me tonight. We're also doing some videos in December as well. And there's a lot of great other recipes that I've done in the last couple weeks, well, actually last couple months. So if you miss anything, you could go back, you could watch our saved videos. And if you don't want to watch the video, you could just look at the recipe in the comments so you can make it at home. So I'll do one more. And then, like I said, we're gonna bake these in the oven, 375 for about 20 minutes. So you can see how pretty they look. I could show you guys what they look like after. I have pictures of them, but they're going to be delicious. You could even drizzle a little more olive oil on top, so then they cook. Some people even will put butter on top, but again, depending on your preference, that will be up to you. So we're gonna pop these in the oven. They're gonna take 20 minutes. Now, the best part is we're gonna use the same food processor for the black bean dip. So you are not cleaning your food processor twice. We're gonna just try to get it as clean as possible, and we can wipe it down with a paper towel. This black bean dip is really great to have on hand. So a little different than, you know, your chickpea hummus. Black bean dip is a little different. It's great for maybe if you're doing taco night or you want to use it as a spread on a sandwich. It is delicious that way as well. Or you could just use it how we're gonna eat it tonight. Have a plate of some crackers and maybe some celery and carrots, raw peppers, and put it out for your holiday gathering or just for your family, however you're celebrating. So I love the almond flour in the stuffed mushrooms. It gives the same consistency, I think, as the breadcrumbs. All right, so that's pretty good. So you can see this is my stuffing left over. So I'm going to do the rest later. And then I'm just going to take a paper towel and just clean it out really quick. You could always, of course, rinse it as well. For this, we're just doing 1 can of black beans rinsed. So I've already rinsed mine. And I'll show you what they look like. And these recipes are easy that you could just like double the recipes. So say you're having... or say you want to have a large family and you want it for the week, or you're going to eat it for the week. This way you could double the batch so you have it on hand. I always say if we have healthier choices on hand, we are less likely to opt for maybe like the junk or the processed food that could be in our house. So I'm just going to rinse this really quick. Really, there's nothing raw in the stuffed mushrooms, so, you know, it's only going to add more flavor to our black bean dip. So, like I said, I have 1 can of black beans, rinsed black beans. All right. Then for this, we're still going to use olive oil. I'm going to add in some garlic. And we're adding in some tahini, which is a sesame paste. And we're doing lemon juice tonight. You could also do lime juice, is great as well. And then we are adding in some coriander. You could do cumin, is really good as well. Or if you don't like that flavoring, you could omit it as well. So I'm just gonna do, maybe I'll do 2 garlic cloves. Let's see. So, I'm just black bean dip is very filling. Obviously beans with fiber and protein, so it's a great snack to have on hand as well. And also during your holidays, I mean, the holidays for many of us, or even COVID, has been tough with just making healthier choices and eating healthy. A lot of people have said that they've gained like the COVID 15 or 20 or whatever it is. So these are just healthier options for you that taste really good. So you're eating healthier food, but you're not lacking the flavor. And also these are really inexpensive foods to make as well. You know, a can of beans is expensive, and you could always use dried beans as well. So my tahini, I'm just gonna mix it up. We're gonna do a tablespoon. This tahini, I find, this is from Trader Joe's. It's just less expensive, so that's why I buy it. Some of the tahinis can be expensive. So let me see, someone has a question. Can I also put in some Greek yogurt? I mean, why not, right? I've never put Greek yogurt in my hummus, but it would probably make it creamier. I mean, I love adding yogurt. So if I'm making, say, like a burrito bowl at home and I'm doing rice and I'll saute onions and peppers, and then I'll serve some of the black bean hummus on the side. And then I also like a scoop of just like regular full fat yogurt. That is good. You could also do some roasted or baked plantains in there. So I don't see why not. But I have not tried it with yogurt. And two, you could always add a little bit and then increase your amount as well if you're not sure about something. So we're just doing a tablespoon. Let me get another spatula. And tahini is in chickpea hummus as well. And then we're doing a 1/4 cup of olive oil. So less olive oil. You know, if you were watching your oil, you could probably even do a vegetable broth. That would be another good alternative. And then we're doing a teaspoon of coriander. I love the coriander or cumin to put in here, but if you're not sure about it, you could start small or just omit it. So we're just adding that in there. And then we're doing 2 tablespoons of lemon juice or lime juice. Lime juice works really well. And then I always tell people this, so I don't love to keep fresh lemons or limes on hand because I feel like I buy them and they go bad. So this is by Lakewood. If you can see it, it's an organic pure lemon juice. They also have it in a lime juice. So ingredients, organic lemon juice. There's also somewhere in here that it tells you how many lemons are actually in here, but there's no added sulfites. There's 26 to 30 lemons. I find this at Stop and Shop, probably like a Whole Foods has it. Most food stores have it in the aisle with like all the juices. It is shelf stable until you open it. So that's just a quick tip that I like to have on hand because I also love to add lemon juice into my water each day. It helps with digestion. It's good for the immune system. On a side note. So I'm just gonna add in, again, a little salt. And then, oh, did I add in the lemon juice? I don't think so. Did I add in the lemon juice? I forgot. I don't think I did. Well, it's the first time that I forgot. No one's answering me, so I don't think I added in the lemon juice. Maybe I did. I should probably taste it before. All right, so we're gonna mix this up. We're gonna start adding in the 1/4 cup of olive oil. This one too, you'll have to, oh, I didn't add that. Thank you, Emily. That was the first time I forgot if I added in an ingredient. Thank God I'm the only one to taste this, so just in case I added in too much lemon juice. So you can see like how nice and thick it gets, but we're gonna add in, or we're gonna process it a little bit longer, and it really depends on you. Like, do you want a few black beans in there for a thicker consistency, or do you want it completely creamy? Totally up to you. Let me taste. Yeah, so I'm gonna add my other tablespoon of lemon juice. This would also be great. Top it with cilantro. I love cilantro. I know some people hate it. Okay, so let's process this again. So that looks really good. So you only need a few ingredients. Also, another option would be if you like chickpea hummus. I've also made artichoke hummus, which is out of this world. You use canned artichoke hearts. So you could do always like a chickpea hummus and then make the black bean hummus. And again, not have to clean the container every single time. So I'm going to show you what this looks like over here. I'm going to make sure that you can see. Maybe we'll put it on here so you can see better. Just gives you different options so you don't get bored with what you have. And you can see I have a plate full of beautiful carrots. How gorgeous. I love these tri-colored carrots. I actually got them at Lidl too, so they're really quite beautiful and inexpensive. And on your hummus, to elevate your presentation, you could always do a drizzle of olive oil. You could put some fresh herbs like cilantro or parsley on top of it as well. I love these. I think they're Pyrex. Is this Pyrex? I think this is Pyrex, but I got them at Costco a while ago. But it's just so great to store these dips. So, you know, say you're gonna make them for, I don't know, a gathering or the holidays, you could just keep them in here and then you could serve it in here. So you don't have to, you know, put it in another bowl and make a mess. But if you want a prettier bowl, you could do a prettier bowl as well. So Emily says, I love chickpea hummus. I love chickpea hummus too. And there's so many varieties. I don't know if you guys have seen the sweet hummuses. So they use chickpeas, but they'll use cocoa powder and just make it into more of a dessert, which I've tasted some and they actually are really good. I mean, chickpeas on itself, I feel, are pretty bland, so the flavor is quite mild, and then adding in a sweetness, it actually was great. You could dip fruit in it like strawberries, so that's another option for you as well. And that's pretty it. So both recipes, we didn't use many ingredients. Some of the ingredients overlapped. Again, I'm going to post all of the recipes right after this. Give me maybe like 5 minutes. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully you will want to make this recipe. I'm going to show you. Color is just really pretty. Put this over here. You could put a parsley leaf. Also someone saying, I have made the brownie with the chickpeas. Ooh, that sounds good. So this is our black bean hummus, and I'm just serving it with carrots. So again, this is a great snack for you and your family. I always recommend wash your vegetables, chop them up, have them in the fridge this way. they're ready to go. So when you don't feel like cooking and you're starving, you have something healthy on hand. So only a few ingredients. This was black beans. We did lemon juice, olive oil, tahini, some garlic, and that is it. So I topped it with some parsley, but eat it as a side dish or a snack or an appetizer. Someone just has a question. Can I make the dip and put it into the oven to warm out? Yeah, why not? I never thought of that, but you could make, I guess, like a warm black bean dip almost. You could even do it as a layer. I think people do like 7-layer dips and things like that. So definitely get creative. I love when people are creative and find different ways to use these recipes. And again, I love that they're only a few ingredients. You could see that we made both of them in a half hour, so it doesn't take long. The cleanup's not bad, and they're healthier options for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. Stay tuned. I'll be doing more Facebook Live, so you could check on our events page to see, or you could check on my website as well, which is healthyhomesteadhostess.com. I list all of the Facebook Lives there as well, and I will go post these recipes for you. So thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. I hope everyone stays safe. Happy holidays, and I will see you all soon. So have a great night.